Yeah, just a quick review of the book, Overcoming Carpal Tunnel Syndrome, Revolutionary Methods to Defeat Hand and Wrist Pain. Um, Basically, the book's divided up into six major sections. I'll just name each one real briefly and just give you a good idea what's in the book. The first one is Understanding Carpal Tunnel Syndrome. So that's good, kind of, understand what's going on with the syndrome. Number two is Diagnosis and Tests. Kind of like how do they know you have carpal tunnel? All the tests that they use. Traditional treatments for carpal tunnel. Alternative and complementary therapies for carpal tunnel syndrome is 4. 5 is preventing carpal tunnel, which is really good chapter, I think, because once you've got it better, or it's gone, and you've done the stuff, that's recommended, the treatments, you don't want it to come back. So it's really good to have a chapter about that. So 5 is preventing carpal tunnel syndrome, and then 6 is living with carpal tunnel syndrome. So yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty complete book. They got a lot of good information in here. So I think anyone who's just wanting some information, they've been diagnosed with it, they want to know more about it, I think this is a good resource. Like it says in the title, Revolutionary Methods to Defeat Hand and Wrist Pain. A lot of the symptoms with carpal tunnel is just pain in the wrist area, also in your hand, can also go up to your elbow and shoulder. But the wrist is also a big problem. There aren't too many books dealing with wrist area pain. One other one that I do know of, was able to find, was the Sore Wrist Solution by Jim Johnson PT. Like I said, there just aren't too many wrist resources around. If a sore wrist is also one of the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome, but this isn't just for carpal tunnel. And if your wrist is sore for any reason, basically, it's got these quick fixes that you can do. I'll just go over this in real briefly. It just starts out with anatomy, which is good. That way you kind of know what's going on in your wrist and in your hand. Quick fix 1, increase wrist circulation. It gives you, those are like a novel contrast therapy, which is heat and cold alternated. So it shows you how to do that to really kind of flush in the circulation. Number 2, decrease wrist pressure. That's a big problem in carpal tunnel. Now, this book actually has a lot of information about carpal tunnel because that's really the big problem, is the pressure on your median nerve. So this actually gives you an exercise that's been shown to decrease wrist pressure actually instantly for at least up to, I think, 10 or 15 minutes. So that's pretty good. Relax your wrist. Goes into a couple massage techniques you can do. One using a tennis ball. Just take you a few minutes. It's really good to relax your muscles in the wrist. Unload your wrist joints. Sometimes a sore wrist is because there's problems just in the joint. So this will actually gives you a distraction technique that helps kind of loosen up your wrist and takes pressure off the wrist. All your little joints in there. Stretching out your wrist gives you some exercises for that. How to make your wrist stronger gives you an exercise for that. How to give your wrist some rest goes over some splints, which ones are the best, and for resting your wrist, what's the best position. So yeah, just another resource for you. Not too many wrist stuff out there. But yeah, like I say, if you've been diagnosed with carpal tunnel and you want some more information, I think this is a good resource. So definitely check it out.